Holy shit, the season finale of Humans next week is going to be amazing, and I just can't wait. Hey guys, it's Kevin here, Smart for Humans, Season 1, Episode 7, and holy shit, what an episode this was. I mean, this was by far the best episode of the season for many reasons. It was such a satisfying episode, and to me, this finale that we're getting into next week, this felt like kind of like part one of that finale because we got some really big reveals, some huge things happen, and of course the ending. I don't know how they're going to top that next week. I honestly don't know. But let's just get into this episode. So much was revealed, and I loved it. Right from the first scene, we get a huge reveal. And I never really thought of this, but we always knew that Karen was a conscious synth and that there was somehow she was connected to, all the other synths, including, Leo, Max, Mia, all of them. And we knew that she was connected somehow, and we see right away that right after she's told Pete that she is a synth, she's basically sitting, I think it was like on it looked like a sky deck or something, and sky. What am I saying? Sky. I mean it looked like she's just sitting outside thinking about like what to do, and we kind of see a flashback. We see none other than David Elster, aka their father, which I thought was really interesting. So basically, he tells all the children that he's got a surprise for them, and basically, we realize that Karen was the mother of all conscious synths, and all this time, she has basically been their mother. Now, the reason why she's hiding out, we don't know, but I thought that was an incredible reveal. We always knew that Karen played some sort of part in their life, and just knowing that I thought was incredible, and I love that. I thought that was an amazing reveal. That was very well done, I have to say. So, and she's done a good job. I mean, I never even thought that, I never even thought there was a possibility, but I thought that was definitely very interesting, and I really like that. It made me even like Karen even more than I already did. I always have loved Karen as a character, but I loved her even more in this episode. So basically, then we see Mia, who is probably in the worst position right now. She's constantly worried about what's going on. She's cooped up in Laura and Joe's kitchen, and she's worried about where Leo is because he was supposed to return, he hasn't, and she says that she was made to love him, and you can see Laura kind of trying to figure out what's going on here. Laura kind of seems like she's at the point where she wants to trust Mia, but at the same time, she can't really think that Mia didn't understand what Anita was doing. So, and we still don't know, was Mia just pretending all this time? Was she a conscious synth? Or was she just, stuck in Anita's personality, which I thought was really interesting. Basically, Joe then comes back into the house, and of course, we know that he made that call on Mia and everything, and I'm like, why'd you do that? So, I don't even like Joe's character anymore, but he basically tries to come back, and Laura lets him back in, of course, because she didn't know what he did, and he's introduced to Mia, he shakes her hand, and he's just like, we've met before, and I thought that was really interesting, and I'm just like, you do realize that they're going to kick you out when they realize what you did. Like, that wasn't right of him to do, and I thought that was definitely very interesting. So, Karen, because of the fact that now, she's looking back and she revealed to Pete what's happened, she doesn't want to be a synth cop anymore. She doesn't want to be, hunting down synths. She's done of being a conscious synth, and she wants to go out and find her children, obviously, because she's a mother who's trying to find her children. Obviously, she wants to do that. So, she sends a note to Pete, and I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is that we're not going to see Pete again. I am still pretty sure that we're going to see Pete next season. He's going to end up joining the We Are People group because Karen was the person that he really did love, and he really did love her and things like that. They seem like they're going to start some sort of a relationship, and now that Karen told him that, I don't think she's coming back. Definitely, she's not coming back. And she goes to George to see Niska, and basically we realize that Karen was Beatrice, and that she says she never was her, and George says that basically she was the woman that he loved, reincarnated. And that's basically the one thing that you can tell that George did not want to tell Niska, because we knew all this time there was something with George and David that they just didn't want to tell Niska, and I'm pretty sure that this is that information that George did not want to reveal, which is understandable. I mean, he didn't even know if she was alive, he didn't know where she was, if she'd ever see her again, and that I think is definitely very interesting. Now, I'm sure Niska knew this, but I don't think they ever thought that she'd come back to them. So basically, he wrote a block in Karen's route so she couldn't commit suicide like Beatrice did, because Beatrice did commit suicide, but she can see no point in living because conscience can only bring us suffering. And she tries to get Niska to kill her, basically. And it's understandable why. Now that she's hidden, she feels bad over what she's done. She's kind of abandoned her children, and she feels like she needs to be punished for this. And I thought this was the actress that plays Karen, best performance in the show so far. I mean, her performance in the scene was incredible. And, she's telling Niska to kill her with 4 shots, 2 in each hemisphere, and then burn her body. But it's actually not Karen that gets shot. This was really interesting. First, Vera gets shot, which I was so happy about. I can't tell you guys how much I hate Vera as a character. I mean, it wasn't that she was evil, it's just she's so annoying, constantly telling George what to do. So I'm glad we're not going to have to see her again, and she takes the bullet right through the hand that alerts the emergency services. So basically, Vera died doing what she did best. And then we get probably the most tragic scene in this episode. I never saw this coming. I never thought this was going to happen. She basically shoots George and Niska, and I was freaked out when that happened. It looked like she was gonna kill Niska, but she kills George, and Niska says she wishes she could have saved him after he urges her to leave. And why do I think she killed George? I think it was kind of like she wasn't sure how he was gonna, basically. I think it was because she knew that he wasn't gonna get rid of the synth. That he had. He wasn't going to get rid of Odie, and she was tired of living this life as a cop and everything. So I think she just wanted to kill George to end things, so that way Niska could come with her, because there was no way that Niska was going to come with her. Seriously, there was no way, and if George is dead, Niska can escape, and she can catch up with her children. I think that really was Karen's thinking there, and there's this just great moment here where Niska's saying, I'm going to get you in a hospital, I'm going to try to save you, but George doesn't want her to save him. And I think it's just because he's, lived a good life. He thinks he's lived his purpose, and there's that really sad moment with Odie bending over him, whispering comforting words about his wife in the next room waiting for him, and I thought that was kind of me thinking that Odie saying you're going to now be with your wife now, you can finally be with her, because the whole reason he didn't want to get rid of Odie is because that was the only incarnation he had left of his wife, and now him being dead, he can be with his wife. It's a really sweet moment, and we're not going to see Odie again, but I thought that was really satisfying, I have to say. I never thought of George dying this season, but I thought that was honestly very satisfying, and I thought they did a really great job with that. So I really love that, I have to say. So that was definitely something I really liked. So again, you can tell that Mia and Laura, there's tension between them, and while they're washing dishes, basically, she just brings up to her that she doesn't want to be the reason why her marriage fails. And, Laura's saying, oh, this isn't your fault, it was Anita's. That's really Laura's thought process there. But Mia knows that, we find out something about Mia that I really liked her, because we finally get that answer of when Joe put Mia in adult mode, was that Anita or Mia? And later, Mia approaches Joe about the incident, and she tells him that she was there the whole time, and I thought that was incredible, and I called it. I knew that she was a conscious synth, and I love that twist, because you could just tell. I mean, the way she was able to go from Mia to Anita, it wasn't making sense, and I love that finally we realized that, yeah, she was there the whole time, that she was playing around. She had to do that to not blow her cover, and basically, she told him that he started to hate himself before they even finished, and I thought that was definitely very interesting. Now, I definitely really love that, and I really like that twist, I have to say, definitely. But my only thing is, was the Anita thing a real thing, or did Mia come out during that? I mean, I'm pretty sure she's a conscious synth, but she didn't say straight up, I'm a conscious synth. I'm pretty sure she is, though. We'll have to see what happens to that, because I'm pretty sure she is, and we'll see. So, basically, we then see, that pretty much every synth goes to Laura and Joe in this episode. They end up living with them, and because it's kind of a safe place for Leo and Fred to take Max, and Mia learns that Max basically tried to kill himself, and Max is not dead. They drag him from the river. They dragged him from the riverbank, and even Niska appears outside the patio doors. And I loved seeing all the synths getting to bond with the family. I definitely really like that because of the fact that you get to see their bonding and everything and how different they all are. I really like that. Now, Max hasn't died, but he has had a power drain, has lost too much fluid, so Niska is going to be a synthetic blood donor, and basically Maddie's working Max's code, Joe's topping up his tank, and Toby holding his hand. The family, they're then united around his bedside, willing to let him live, but even a 13-hour charge isn't going to bring him back. And it seems like things are okay, but I'm just like, there's no way that he's going to live, and you can tell that it's not going to end well. So, George's house is basically now a crime scene, and Odie's demise is sad. So, basically, Hob orders, he says, see if it saw anything and scrap it, and Hob just wants to get rid of Odie. And basically, he reveals that he and George knew each other. And I thought, I kind of saw that coming, I have to say, definitely. I mean, if David and George knew each other, definitely George and Hob knew each other. And he says just a little long ago enough, and I thought that was definitely, he won an award for robot engineering, and I thought that was definitely very interesting. So I really love that. So still on her mission to be destroyed, because basically, again, her mission here is to just die. She feels horrible over what happened. Karen offers to help Hobbs stop the conscious synths as long as he gets rid of her once they're done. And her plan to do this, it's really fucked up that she's doing this, but I think she's just stopping it so that way they can all die together. I think that's kind of her thought process here. I don't know really what she's thinking here, but that was definitely very interesting. It made things very creepy, and I kind of like that. So then basically Joe answers the door when the police turn up and not everyone overhears. It's a follow-up on that call he made last night, and you knew that something happened there. You knew that he was going to get caught, and I knew that that wasn't going to end well for Joe when the police showed up. And basically it's a suspicious man and his synth, and he's basically he blew it pretty much. He blew it, and it's still quite unfortunate that Laura and Joe catch footage of Niska going crazy on the Smash Club on the news as she's giving Sophie. There's this great scene with Niska and Sophie bonding, which I personally really did like, because Sophie wants her to kind of, and you see that Sophie's completely okay with Anita being Mia, which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, the fact that Sophie's this little girl and she's completely okay with it, I thought was really funny. I didn't think that Sophie would react that way, but I really liked that. I thought that was definitely pretty cute, the way we saw that. But basically, Niska and Sophie, they are bonding and things like that, and Niska didn't want to at first, but I like that, and just as things are going well, they then see the footage of Niska killing all those people at the Smash Club, and they realize that, Laura she wants them out, she orders them to leave, but Maddie says that it's dangerous for them out there, and it is, and Joe says that it's dangerous in here for us, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, seriously, you're the one that called the cops, what are you doing? So, Leo gathers his belongings, and you don't really know what's gonna happen here. I mean, we're approaching the end of the episode, and I didn't know what was gonna happen towards the end. Were they gonna get exposed? Was something bad gonna happen? We were going with the ending of this episode, but basically what ends up happening towards the end, which oh, by the way, I do want to talk about this one scene that I personally really did love with Fred. By the way, Fred and Leo being reunited was great. I love seeing that. I love seeing them being reunited and everything. And just reunited as a family, all of them, it was great to see. I love that. But there was this really great scene between Toby, Fred, and Joe. They're basically playing soccer or football, as they call it, in Britain. But basically, they're playing soccer, and there's this whole conversation that comes up. Joe didn't want to come out, but Toby just gives him this look. You can still see that Toby doesn't trust Joe, and again, it's understandable why. You can tell why that's going on. Definitely you can tell that's going on, and I thought that was definitely very interesting. Also, Sophie asking Niska to play with dolls was beautifully done. I mean, that Sophie teaching Niska to play with dolls, I definitely really liked that scene. As I said, I thought that was really good. That was definitely something I enjoyed. I'm trying to think of anything else that I might have missed before. Okay, that's basically it. Basically, Joe's, they're about to leave, and Leo's gathering his belongings when he comes right face to face with Karen, and I'm like, oh shit, what is she gonna do? And he's, happy to be with her. He's shocked out of his mind that she's there, obviously. He had no idea that he was gonna come encounter with her, and she basically, is telling him to come with me and everything, and she plans on leading him to safety, kind of like a little boy, and Niska's like, oh, don't trust her. That's not the right thing to do. There's no way you can trust her. And then, of course, comes the very disturbing end that felt like the season finale, but it's not. I have no idea what's going to happen next week. Hob leads this whole synth bust. All these policemen just burst in, and it's really sad, guys, because you see them just, they get them all to go down, they take the synths away, and Max smiles innocently down the barrel of a gun. Leo cries out for help, and you have no idea what's going to happen to them. You have no idea how they're going to get out of this, and that by far was the perfect cliffhanger for this episode. I love that, and I thought that was definitely very well done. I definitely really love that, I have to say, and I couldn't have thought of a better way for this episode to end. I really couldn't have thought of a better way. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot, because I feel like I did. But yeah, guys, overall, fantastic episode. As usual, fantastic episode. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going to happen next week, but I'm hyped out of my mind. I can't wait to find out what's going to happen, and that's going to be amazing next week. I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll have to see what they end up doing, basically. And, oh, also, the scene where Mia meets Joe, she does tell him that she can think and feel just like him, which I thought was interesting, and I really love that, I have to say. Um, I thought that was a very good scene. And we also get this great scene where they ask, like, how do you all look different? And they talk about, oh, we were just recreations. I like that too, because it is an interesting question, how are they all so different yet they're a family? It's just because they were recreations, and that's how they were reincarnated. So basically, Karen is now the antagonist of the show. Even though she is their mother, she is basically the main antagonist here, and I really like to see how that's gonna go. I mean, really, this is gonna be very interesting to see how this all goes down. I mean, Karen basically exposing them to the synth police. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but someone's gonna die, okay? Obviously, Max isn't dead, but someone's gonna die. We're gonna see what happens there. Max is clearly not gonna live. I don't see things going well there. Now, let's talk about Joe and Laura. Is Joe going to confess that Mia said that it was her the whole time? I feel like Joe, being the sleazebag that he is and being the dick that he is going to say that to Laura, because obviously he wants to make himself look good and doesn't want Laura to think that he was the one that initiated and that she knew the whole time what they were doing. I definitely see Joe doing something like that. I was surprised that Laura didn't confess to Joe about Tom. I thought she was, but I'm pretty sure that's coming in the season finale. I really do see that coming. Toby and Joe, it just seems like they're never going to be the same. To me, at this point, it doesn't seem like they can be the same. There was that scene with them bonding, but I don't really see much coming out of that. I see it much more as just slowly reconnecting. Maybe eventually they'll reconnect, but they'll never really be the same after what Joe did. Joe calling the cops. What's going to happen there? That's something I'm very interested in seeing what they're going to do with that. Now, what is Hob going to do with all these synths? Obviously, he wants to do experiments on them. I have no idea what they're going to do with that, but that's going to be very interesting. Odie, I'm pretty sure, was thrown away, which is really sad. George's death, I think, was probably the best thing for the show, for them to kill him off. I couldn't have thought of a better time for them to do that. Even though I wouldn't really have thought of now to kill him off, I think now probably was the best time for them to kill him off. Basically, I think now probably, they should have done it then. The whole thing with Karen, basically, what's gonna happen with her? Is Karen gonna die? I don't know. Now, Pete, I don't know if Pete's gone from the show. I don't really see Pete, making that much of a return, but I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do with that whole thing, because Karen's gone now, and Pete's, again, been screwed over, so we'll have to see what happens with, as far as Pete goes, because I don't know really where that's going. We'll have to see. And also, I feel like Joe and Laura would just let Niska get killed because obviously they don't trust her. They don't trust, all of them. They trust like Leo, Fred, Max, but Niska I think is the one where they're kind of like, I don't know if we can trust her. I think that definitely is very interesting. I like how we finally got basically everything revealed tonight. There are still some things that we need revealed on, which I like. I like that, there definitely is more next week. I can't wait to see what happens next week. I do kind of see it being a situation where there isn't a cliffhanger next week because of the fact that they weren't sure if they were going to get renewed for a second season, which I could see happening. But I hope that doesn't happen because I can't wait for next week's episode. I can't believe next week is a finale. This season has gone by so fast. I guess I've just been that into it that it's gone by so fast for me. I've been so into it, and I can't wait for next week's episode. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. No notes, guys saw this episode. I know this was a shorter review. Sorry, guys. The website I usually use the recap on, they don't have it. I don't know why, so I had to use a different recap, which is very short, and I tried to go as in-depth as possible, but I'm pretty sure I got down pretty much everything I needed to in the episode. If I left something out, just let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for another classic movie review, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.